Yeah, Mr. Miner is joining us now. Marcus, if the room's clear, you can go ahead and take off your mask if you'd like. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
Got
having
a
me.
got a good crew of media here for you. So we will go ahead and open up for questions for Marcus Miner.
Marcus, did you have any conversations with DJ Turner, seeing a teammate from Maryland come up to Pitt, have some success as a graduate transfer?
After the end of my season, started after I knew I was going to transfer, I asked DJ how it was, um, based off of me already knowing or having a relationship with Coach Borbs, knowing that Coach Narduzzi recruited me in high school. I knew it was possible that that relationship might come back up. Um, and after having a conversation with DJ, him telling me that he enjoyed his process here, his coming over and transferring, grad transfer situation over here, it gave me a thought that this might be a new home for me. So that was enjoyable.
Well, Marcus, welcome to Pittsburgh, by the way.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, have you noticed any difference in the approach, especially with the off-season program, to what you were used to at Maryland to what you're going through now at Pitt?
Um, Based off the situation, it's still the same with the morning workouts, uh, the way it is of having online school of a sort to learn the playbook with the new guys, including me, as just being a transfer. I think that part of football stays the same, usually no matter where you go. But what I'm enjoying the most is just being able to come into a program where I'm able to jump in and just become one of the guys. Like, for example, just being able to talk to Owen or Carter or Gabe, any of the new O linemen actually just brought me in as a family. So that's just been the most enjoyable process, is me coming over to be a Panther.
I was going to say, Marcus, who among those offensive linemen have really kind of taken you in most, and I guess who has stood out to you as kind of like a leader of the group, if you will?
Really, it's all the older guys. Based off of the people that had to quarantine, Owen was the first person out. Owen and Gabe were the first people. Owen, Gabe, and Cradle were the first people to actually be around me, like just to work out for the first week of me moving in. So I got close to them, going over the playbook, just being able to talk ball, be able to talk situations that we were able to relate, talk about our bond with Coach Borbs, and from there, just being able to do that. Then as quarantine ended for some of the rest of the guys that were coming back to the campus, Carter became closer to me. Some of the younger guys I know from Maryland, like Mike and other sorts, and just being able to talk to freshmen, bring them along, even though I am new here, just knowing how college works. Uh, it was just it was an easy growth going into the O-line. So.
Questions on DirecTV or anything else while we've got 37 people on the call?
Marcus, what has the transition been like from a school standpoint, and with COVID? I know you can meet some of the guys, but what has that transition been like?
Hold on, Marcus got muted, guys. Give us a second. Marcus, if you can take care of it, that would be appreciated.
I got it.
Thank you.
Can you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
Now I got to unmute myself. What's it like? What's the transition been like academically, and with COVID, trying to meet people and get to know your teammates? How has that gone?
Mainly for academic wise, this is my first time in grad school, and I'm in a business school, so that is a little different for me. The classes are a little longer. I don't enjoy that, but nonetheless, it's a process, and I'm able to take it on. I'm coming along. It's actually work wise, I'm coming along with it gradually, so it's enjoyable. I'm taking it as it is. I'm excited to be into the CATS business school, so I know that could take me really far post football. So I'm excited what I can do with that. And then meeting people. Before I actually got here, I was able to use social media to talk to some of the new, guys before I got here, but based off of our workout schedules, I'm mostly closer to the O-line, D-line, which makes sense, who I'll go against and who I'll be playing with. But I have gotten a chance to just talk to other guys, meet new guys besides that.
Marcus, Alan Saunders, nice to meet you. Thanks for doing this. I know you played guard and tackle at Maryland. Do you have a sense of where you're going to play here at Pitt, or are you comfortable doing whatever?
I'm at guard right now, so probably stay at that for throughout the whole spring and off season. So, uh, but honestly, I played tackle, guard, center a little bit at Maryland, so I'm willing to play anything that coach needs me, wherever that is, wherever I need to help out at. I'm willing to do.
Marcus, you talked about meeting some of the O linemen. What have your conversations been like with Kenny? Having an experienced quarterback like that.
So I first talked to Kenny after I committed. He congratulated me on coming aboard, welcomed me to the family. From there, we really just talked about a little bit of ball, just based off of just being here. But since our workouts aren't at the same time, it's kind of hard to get closer just based off of our situation with COVID. But other than that, we talked about Cats Business School, us both being in Cats, and then from there, when more football is able to come around, I'm sure that we'll get more into the playbook and bond that way as well.
Marcus, you like Alan was saying, you've bounced around at different positions. You've been able to play different things, and even though you're focusing here at guard, you're coming into a new system and you're dealing with these challenges. What is the main thing that you rely on in your skill set, your strength that when you're trying to figure something out that you have under grip and something that you can depend on to come through in big situations, a strength or say that you rely on in those moments?
Strength for me is, I know this would be my fourth playbook really that I having to learn. So I know football is always going to be football. It's all dependent on the language that we have to speak to one another. So whether that's whatever Coach Borbs is wanting us to speak, Coach Whip, whatever their language is, I have to learn that language. But I do know, like, inside zone is always going to be inside zone. Outside zone is always going to be outside zone. Pass is going to be pass, and I understand that, and I feel like that's going to help me along, especially with the new playbook that we have. And then other than that, I feel like working on my fundamentals would be the best. Relying on my athleticism to help me get through everything else, as I do learn what Coach Borbs wants for technique. So I feel like that's going to set me up for the best situation.
Marcus, I know it's never easy to leave a place you've been at for a while. What went into your decision to transfer from Maryland?
I just wanted a better opportunity for myself. I feel like I was, in lack of better words, just comfortable, maybe. And I feel that being here is going to give me the opportunity to continue to push myself, push to get where I want to get, and just having another opportunity to take the steps forward to go reach the goals I want to reach.
Marcus, what are the goals you want to reach?
Obviously, I want to go to the league. That's my end all be all for football. I want to be all ACC first team. I want to be all American. I want to be one of the best linemen to come out of Pitt. So those are some of my goals. I'm ambitious with it, and I just want to be as great as I can be.
How seriously did you consider Pitt coming out of high school?
At the time, I did. It wasn't a big choice for me. I think I was too young to understand what went into a good college program. I was really focused on really having the people around me, such as my parents, they are older, so I wanted them to be able to travel to my games. So I know Maryland was a good choice for that. I know I could get a good education out of Maryland, but I wasn't paying attention to the long run that actually helped my football goals at the time. And just based off the situation, I passed up Pitt for the time being. But I do know everything happens for a reason, so that's why I'm here now, and I'm ready to make the big steps to go forward with that.
Marcus, do you see yourself as having a legit shot here to make an immediate impact in 2021, this upcoming season? I know we haven't even gotten spring ball yet, but is that kind of where your head is at?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is. Wherever I can help, I'm willing to do. But I do know that I'm talented. I do know that I have the ability to play, and wherever coach is willing to put me, I'm ready to take that step forward to impact the team any way I can.
You think you'll be a left guard, Marcus?
Wherever they put me, that'll probably be a standpoint since the left guard just left. But really, wherever that is, I have no care for where it is. I'm just ready to play.
Any final questions? Oh, good. Well, Marcus, really happy to have you here. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you, Marcus. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I believe EJ said that MJ Devonshire would be our next guest on deck, so stand by for that. And thank you all for joining us. And our next guest has joined us. We will welcome MJ Devonshire to the meeting here. And when he's unmuted. Hey, MJ, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time. Doing well. We'll go ahead and open up for questions for Mr. Devonshire.
MJ, in the recruiting process, the second recruiting process, how easy is it to transition to a school that you have a lot of familiarity with?
Definitely a lot easier. The first time around, as a kid, I was young, so I really wasn't sure what I was looking for. I was just going into it like it was like a video game, like it was a fairy tale. So, being older and more mature, you're able to make a decision that fits you and knowing what you're looking for and what you want in the school and like where you want to be at outside of football and how you're going to live your life. So it was definitely a easier decision knowing somewhere and being comfortable in the situation and knowing the school and not having to take a visit.
MJ, what clinched it for you with Pitt? What were some of the things about Pitt that you knew this was the right place?
Early on, I was talking to Pitt, talking to Penn State, and I just, I loved the conversations I had with Coach Collins and carrying over even from when I was in high school. And, his pitch never changed. He said the same things to me. And now that I'm, like I said, more mature, I understand what he's saying and I can comprehend sometimes and understand. Like my dad always tells me sometimes, like when he get on me about something, I might not understand at the moment, but when I got older, I would understand. And that was one of those moments where the stuff he said when I was younger didn't really affect me. I didn't think too much of it, but now that I'm older, I can understand what he was saying. So that was definitely a big thing in getting me back home.
What were some of those things he said to you that started to resonate now?
Just outside of football, like just life in general, just trying to helping me be a better man, stuff like that, which, because football is going to come, like he said, it's natural. That's everybody here is naturally a good football player. But when it comes to like living life, like if you want to live your life in Pittsburgh, like can you start a family and how will you help your family when it comes to living in Pittsburgh?
MJ, does this just feel right being here, being at the facility there? Does it just feel like this is how it was supposed to be the whole time?
Definitely, I feel comfortable. Walking in, it was no butterflies. I immediately felt at home. The at home feeling. When they say you're at home, it's definitely true. Walking around the facility, it's all smiles. It's a friendly environment. You're definitely more comfortable in the situation.
You obviously had some guys you already knew before you walked in there. Who were the first to kind of embrace you?
Eli, through the whole process, Eli Kasanovich, I talked to him from start to finish, right? The day I entered the portal, Eli was like, he texted me like, if you want Pitt to be an option, man, I'm always here, answer any questions for you. And just through the whole process, Eli has been a best friend of mine for years. So Eli was definitely the first person. And still to this day, we talk about everything. So, definitely Eli was important in the process.
And Jay, when it comes to the way you see yourself fitting in kind of on the field at Pitt, how attractive was what they do on defense for someone that wants to be a cornerback? They certainly challenge the players at that position.
Loved it. I love the way watching film. I love the way the guys I work out with, they compete. That's the biggest thing we talked about. Me and Coach Collins is having a chance to compete because in this game you're going to give up catches and you're going to make big plays. There's ups and downs. It's emotional, but the way they compete every play, you're pressed, and if you give up a catch, you're right back at it. It's no change. They're going to do what they do best, and they're going to get it done. And I love that about this defense. You're going to compete every play from start to finish of the game, and that's the biggest thing for me.
MJ,
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, MJ. What do you think you learned in your time at Kentucky? If there's one or two things you can kind of take from that experience to hear.
Definitely work, and that like the biggest thing was walking in. I thought like you just being who I was coming in, confidence, but definitely just working like and staying consistent and being patient. It's not always gonna go the way it's planned, and things aren't gonna be the way you always expect it. But learning that emotionally, you're gonna go through, like I said, about competing ups and downs. So when I learned that, consistency is the key. When you're not feeling your best, and when you really don't want to do it, you gotta find a way to win. And I learned that from some guys at Kentucky that I always take forever with me. So.
MJ, you're coming back to Pitt here. They're coming into an NFL draft season where they're sending several guys into the NFL draft, big names, the guys that could go early and middle rounds. How exciting does that make you to see that many guys getting their shot in the NFL after spending their college careers at Pitt?
Definitely excites me. Seeing those guys go to the league and be able to do that, have that opportunity is amazing. Especially guys like DeMar Hamlin, Paris Ford. Guys that are from the city. Seeing them, it's like it gives people hope. Like I'm like a lot of times I look at them and it's like, man, they did it and they're from where I'm from, so why can't I? And hopefully I can do that for the next kid coming up. They look at me like he did it, so why can't I? And it just becomes a chain reaction, and that they're just following.
MJ, being from Aliquippa, how much have you gotten to know Darrelle Revis, and what's it like following his legacy, from Aliquippa to Pitt?
I've talked to him sometimes, but he tries to keep it out of a legacy. Guys like him, Tyler, they often say you're your own person, and they often tell us don't live in their shadow. They want everybody that comes from Aliquippa that it's not just some path that you're following, that you can create your own, and they want everybody to be different. So he definitely preaches not to be in the shadow of Darrelle Revis, to just be MJ Devonshire and do what I do best.
And I was pretty surprised when I looked up your stats that I didn't see any returns after having covered you in high school. I know you're pretty talented in that area. Is that something you're looking forward to getting back to?
Yeah, definitely. I love that part of the game. At Kentucky, and with me breaking my wrist as a freshman, and we had Lynn, obviously he was a great returner, so it really wasn't areas for me to get back there. But with me breaking my wrist, it was just hard for me to catch him. And then coming back the next year, I was just focused on playing corner. But I was the backup returner, so if they needed me, I would have got some.
MJ, obviously there's a lot of turnover in the secondary this year. I mean, who are some of the returning guys that you've kind of been talking to, and they've kind of been able to bring you into the group?
In the secondary, the first two guys, Marquez Williams and Damari Mathis. As soon as I came in, they embraced me. They're in my workout group, and they motivate me every day. They work with me. Marquez, we talk off the field. Those guys, they hit me up all the time just to see where my head is at, and make sure I'm at home. They definitely do a good job of bringing that brother and that family feel to me. So them two definitely came out strong to start off.
MJ, how excited is your family?
Initially, MJ?
Oh, go ahead, Jerry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly. I didn't hear you. MJ, do you expect to line up initially at cornerback at Pitt?
From so far, we haven't had any talks otherwise. So until I hear otherwise, like I said, I'm just excited to compete and get on the field any way I can.
Jay, I was just asking how excited your family is to have you home and the prospect of being so close to play on Saturdays.
Oh, my mom loves it. She still cried when I moved in, but she's just an emotional person. But yeah, she loves it. My dad's happy. My family, they just happy to see me happy. But yeah, my mom definitely loves that I'm down the road. She'll sometimes call me and be like, you want me to come up, bring you something? I'll be like, no, I'm fine, Mom.
You're not going to take advantage of laundry and meals?
Nah, not too much. I mean, if the time comes when I go home for a weekend, I got some dirty clothes, I'll let her do my laundry. I used to do that coming from Kentucky, but nah, I try to be more independent.
MJ, what's it mean to be a football player at Aliquippa?
Pride. It's so much pride and joy, and it's different. I mean, they always say there's something out there in the water, and I'm starting to believe it's true because every year we just keep rebuilding. Since I've been alive, since I've been in school, we've been to a WPIAL championship. So it's just definitely different, and having that on your back, knowing that like the guys before you went and just trying to keep that tradition alive is definitely special. So it's definitely special when you suited up and play in the Pitt on Friday nights.
MJ, I know that you're still getting settled in here at Pitt, but if you had a chance to talk to any of the guys you're going to be lining up against in the receiver position in the locker room, Pitt's got Jordan Addison, a freshman All-American type of player. You're going to have, it sounds like you're going to have some serious challenges to hone your skills against when you get started.
No, I haven't talked to him about like on the field stuff. Like I've talked to Trey about off the field and just life in general. But I mean, I work out with Will all the time back at home, so he's definitely good competition since I don't know when. Will's a crazy athlete, so I know a lot of them guys are definitely just like him. So I'm looking forward to those battles in spring.
MJ, do you see a chance at immediate time here in 2021? Was that a part of Lure coming back maybe?
Hopefully, yes, sir. Like I said, I'm just ready to play and do what I do. Hopefully, do my part, be consistent in the spring, and find a way to get on the field and help the team win.
Any final questions for Mr. Devonshire? All good. Well, MJ, really appreciate your time. Great job, man. Excited to have you here. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day, man.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Thank you.
That'll be our player representatives for today, and we'll momentarily have new linebackers coach Ryan Manalac with us. So stick around, and really appreciate you all joining us.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
And our final guest for today, we are excited to introduce new linebackers coach Ryan Manalac. Coach, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here with all you guys.
Welcome to Pittsburgh. We'll go ahead and open up for questions for Coach Manalac.
Ryan, why is it that you and Pat seem to have gotten along? Do you feel like you're similar personalities? What has that? Why is that relationship meshed so well?
I mean, a number of things. I think we are very similar. I certainly admire Coach Narduzzi's work ethic would be one thing that really stands out. Having played for him, watching the way he prepared and watching the way he knew the scheme inside and out and the relationships he had and built, took time. And then, working under him at Michigan State, just really loved the way he worked. I mean, he's a guy who's in the office, the preparation he did to game plan was impressive and something that I'll never forget. And so I think that work ethic thing is something that really drew us together.
Obviously, it's a Power 5 job, but what kind of opportunity did you see at Pitt?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it, but an opportunity to coach at the highest level of college football is huge and exciting. I mean, coming in here with an awesome defensive staff, getting to work with Coach Bates and Coach Partridge and Coach Sanders and Coach Collins is awesome. I mean, these guys, sit in the room with them and evaluating, what we were able to do last year here is exciting for me. And so the professional development there with the staff and the opportunity to coach some of the best players in the country is exciting for me.
Ryan, what are your thoughts on the linebacker room you're inheriting and some of the talent that you know is there, and what you've seen from them and what you're going to try to push to get out of them this year?
Yeah, it's a lot of guys in that room, a lot of older guys that have played. Now we're inheriting some super seniors, which is different, and so exciting for me coming into that room to be able to work with what they've already done, which is some really exciting things. I think it's a group of guys that's very athletic. plays fast, making plays in the backfield. Things, continue to work on as I come in is just football intelligence and refining some different collision skills and techniques and where we're keeping our eyes. And so I think there's an opportunity to continue to get even better and build upon what we have there.
Ryan, when you were playing at Cincinnati, what was Pat like as a coach, as a D coordinator there?
Probably the same as you know him. I mean, he's a very intelligent guy, very intense, and I think that's how I look at him, and that was impactful and very impactful for the guys that I played with. I was fortunate at the University of Cincinnati, I think, to spend 3 years with Coach Narduzzi as our defensive coordinator, and when he left, that left a lasting impression. Our next coaching staff that came in Cincinnati was Brian Kelly and the staff that he brought. And I think as a senior, we ended up doing some good things, winning the Big East at the time, and playing in the Orange Bowl. As I looked around, we had 11 senior defensive players that all had been groomed under that Narduzzi defensive regime, which is, we looked around, we were all cut from that cloth, came through 3 years of that. And so that was, something that I'll never forget. That was powerful for me.
Ryan, you mentioned the super seniors. How important are those guys who've played a lot of football at Pitt at linebacker to you as far as helping in your transition? Huge. And just being able to lean on those guys for the way things have been done, the way they operate. And, the challenge that I've put before them is to make sure they're leading, showing the younger guys the right ways to do things, and using that experience for the betterment of the whole group.
And you obviously have a good grasp of what's required to do the job at this level, having played high-level college football, played in the NFL. We were at Michigan State. What do you feel like you learned maybe that you didn't know going to the FCS level and the Division II level, becoming a coordinator, and now coming back to this level of football? What do you feel like that experience has kind of taught you?
Certainly a lot. And, you go to the different levels and you learn, if you compare it to business, right? You leave a corporation, you go to a small business world where you have to do a few more things, wear a few more hats. And I think that's helped my development, see the bigger picture from a different lens. Certainly it's helped me grow as a leader. And, as it applies here specifically, schematically, being able to see some different answers with different personnel and being able to apply that coming back to the system, I think will be an added thing. I can help with the defensive staff and what we're doing in game planning and from that perspective.
How different is what Pat and this defense under Randy Bates are doing right now compared to what you were running at Cincinnati, way back in the day?
Surprisingly, much of it is the same. And as you guys know, the game continues to evolve. And I think what's been different since Cincinnati is RPOs. Whereas when I played, right, you could read the offensive lineman, and for the most part, they told you the truth if it was run or pass with maybe a draw or a screen, which was the caveat. Now that offensive lineman's showing you run every time, and so you're dedicating, second level, third level players to say, are you a run first or pass first player? And so that's really what's changed. Is keying and devoting responsibilities and assignments a little bit differently, but the main parts of 4-3 quarters are still there, which again have stood the test of time as far as defending people and being aggressive and yielding some good defensive results.
Ryan, for those that follow recruiting, everyone knows certain assistant coaches recruit certain areas, certain states. I mean, what kind of areas do you have connections with, and where do you kind of get the sense you'll be able to recruit? What areas?
Yeah, so I'm deeply tied into Ohio, coming from Pickerington, Ohio. It has become a powerhouse in the state now. Coach Sherrod has done a great job there, and it's a place, Ohio, that has good football and has over the years as far as the number of talented guys that come out of there. So that's first and foremost where I'll be deeply vested, and then linebackers all over the country and a little bit of Atlanta. And so that's what I'm looking to do.
Ryan, as you look at your group, when you get a chance to evaluate them on the field, what catches your eye? Like, what do you want to see from a Pitt linebacker?
speed. I mean, speed's going to be our calling card within our system here at linebacker. That won't change. And we've, had a chance, like I said, I've only been here a short while, but to see those guys move and watch them lift, the explosiveness, the speed they have, it's an exciting group. And so, again, it'll be not teaching them how to go, but refining that and being more efficient, I think will be what we'll look to do.
Coach, we've all asked you a couple questions about working with Coach Narduzzi and everything, but nobody came right out and asked, give me your favorite Coach Narduzzi story that's clean and usable.
There's a lot of them, trying to fit that description. I can remember specifically playing, when I was a redshirt sophomore, we were at Rutgers, who was a good team at the time, and going into halftime, and, we were a little bit behind. And, I think, does the best, Coach Narduzzi does one of the best jobs of providing players information at halftime on what the opponent's doing and what we need to do to stop them. And I think he ended that speech with a fist through a projector that really got us rallied going into the second half, which that's clean, I think, but that's also the intensity, like I said, paired with that intelligence that really had a lasting impact on me and got us going. I don't know if we ended up winning that game, but certainly we were fired up and ready to go for that second half.
Any final questions for Coach Manalac?
Have you busted any projectors, Ryan?
No, and I don't think we use the old school projectors anymore. You have the more of the the little document cameras. That wouldn't be quite as dramatic to bust, but no. So that hasn't been a part of what I've done yet.
Also more expensive.
No doubt, no doubt.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up there. Coach, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Excited to have you here, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, and I appreciate everybody's time today, and look forward to doing more of this. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Thank everybody for joining us today. It was a productive session, I hope, for all of you. We'll try and do more of these going forward with our newcomers, and we'll keep you updated on times and possibilities for that. So stay tuned and have a great rest. Thank you.